From the heart of Silicon Valley, welcome to another Tech Close-Up. I'm Mark Albertson. Now, we're here at San Jose's Museum of Art, but of course, you know, we look for stories about science, technology, and about some of the brilliant innovators who dream these things up. So, what do you think we're going to find in a museum of art? Well, come on in. Boy, are you in for a surprise. Christina King joins us for a tour of the San Jose Museum of Art, where technology is the artistic theme and also your guide as well. We'll see how one local mass transit agency is transforming passenger trains and buses into sophisticated mobile high-tech centers. And we'll take a close-up look at image sensors and how remarkable advances in technology are allowing cameras to record stills or video in near total darkness. Well, here's a very colorful lead-in to a story about transportation. Now, most of us wouldn't go to work in something like this, but many of us do commute by train or by bus, and we often don't realize how mass transit relies on sophisticated high technology to move tens of thousands of people. So we decided to send our cameras into a Bay Area transit agency called Samtrans, and what we found just might surprise you.
Mass transit. What gets you from here to there is more than just bells, whistles, and wheels. In many mass transit systems around the country, you'll find that behind all the hardware, there's a lot of software.
You're looking at the track control system that controls the 77 miles of track that Caltrain has in the Peninsula corridor. You are looking essentially at Caltrain Live, and what's coming back is you're seeing it real time.
Samtrans, the San Mateo County Transit Authority. It controls 77 miles of Caltrain track up and down the Northern California Peninsula. It manages buses that travel 32,000 miles of road a day. They carry thousands of passengers a week. And the real driving force is a sophisticated computer system.
Being in Silicon Valley and supporting users who are very sophisticated, we feel an inherent responsibility to be able to deliver to them the latest mass transit technology out there. It allows us to keep track of where the buses are, if they're on time, where they stop. It provides next stop announcements. Our dispatchers can be in constant communications with our operators.
Code 660.
Code 660, I did send a text message a minute ago. Did you receive it?
I just got here.
This South San Francisco center is the high-tech control for Samtrans buses.
So this is sort of like your version of air traffic control.
In so many words on the ground, yes.
Well, really, it's no joke. With satellite global positioning technology, dispatchers know where buses are at any moment in time.
We're watching buses. We know their vehicle numbers, what we call their run numbers, so we can identify each vehicle by a run number or its bus number. In the past, we would have to depend on a supervisor's pair of eyes to verify or assist operators in locating certain activities in certain areas. And now we're able to find a vehicle instantly.
When I was riding a bus as a kid, we didn't have any of this. We didn't have digital signs, we didn't have GPS. How much of a difference does it make?
A tremendous amount. We can provide real-time information to our passengers. We can contact operators if we need to. If there's an emergency on board, they can contact us instantaneously. Typically, when he's en route, it would show him what his schedule is, whether he's running ahead of schedule or behind schedule, and also his next stop that he's going to arrive at.
Now arriving Hillsdale, this is Hillsdale. Once again, this is Caltrain 134 making all local stops. We're currently running out of time. This is Hillsdale Station.
There's even more technology on Caltrain's tracks, and it's this computer system that tracks the tracks.
So this is constantly polling the system, is that right? It's telling you the condition of the track?
Yes.
Would it tell you there's a piece of track that needs attention?
It does. If we look at this particular screen,
Right here?
Yes. This actually is showing you it pulling from the different points along the track, the control points, which are basically communication points which control certain portions, and it's constantly asking each pull point, do you receive a signal from me? Yes, I do. And if it doesn't, it'll say, you know, time out, or if there's a problem, it immediately has to be addressed. The computer systems are able to monitor and give telemetry, real-time telemetry of where the track status is, and be able to affect that whenever we need to.
While computers follow the tracks, Wi-Fi signals along the tracks allow some passengers to use their computers. Caltrain's testing new technology that spreads a Wi-Fi signal along a 16-mile stretch of track. And if it works, all Caltrain may go Wi-Fi.
We're looking at providing wireless internet connection to our passengers in excess of DSL speed, and we're looking to have between 100 to 150 people at the same time be able to surf the internet.
Of course, to passengers, the only difference that really counts is whether they get there on time.
Operationally, we're able to keep better track of our fuel, our consumption, our statistics that are on the bus, what type of experience is the passenger getting, are the routes being utilized properly, are they on time, are there any obstacles that we have?
You've seen the evolution of this technology. Do you ever sit back and marvel at what we're able to do now?
I think we're only at the threshold. There's a lot more that we'll be able to do in the near future. It's a matter of thinking outside the box.
Anywhere there's mass transit, there's growing use of gee-whiz technology. But it's not to impress or show off. In fact, the people who program it hope it just stays invisible.
You ever ride the train?
Yes, I did.
Do you think about what's going on in the background here when you're on the train?
No, I don't. Actually, I'm one of those people that the reason why I ride the train is to sit on the train and just enjoy the ride, not have to worry about anything, enjoy a book, or well, now hopefully be able to, you know, surf the internet.
So as mass transit goes more high-tech, it rewrites an old, catchy transit commercial. Just sit back, relax, and leave the driving to us and to the computer.
Thank you for riding Samtrans.
It's time for Fast Forward here on Tech Closeup. This is a segment where we focus on the latest, the up-and-coming trends in the tech industry. Rob Enderle helps us understand what's ahead and how to use some of these new products that are coming out. Today we're going to talk about something that isn't exactly new, flat screen monitors. But this is a little bit different. We have an LCD, a liquid crystal diode display.
Yes.
What's the difference between this and the cathode ray, the larger monitors that we've replaced with the flat screen?
Well, a cathode ray tube monitor, CRT, which is what we've always been used to kind of with our PCs, it's more like an old TV, same kind of thing we used up through the 50s in terms of how we watch television. Huge, massive tube that we worried about exploding and taking out half the neighborhood, though very rarely happened. And very heavy, very power inefficient, and for the most part, relatively out of date.
Okay, so it's kind of a dinosaur by this point.
For the most part. A dinosaur, boat anchor, way to break your foot if you're trying to move the furniture, yes.
If you get a fight with your husband, just, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a flat screen that does a lot more than your typical computer screen. I have a flat screen at home that doesn't do near what this one does because of what's around the back here. And I want to turn this around and have you tell me about the functionality of this particular monitor.
Well, this shows a new class of monitor. This one's from Gateway, but there's an entire class of products that are like this, where you've got plugs under the bottom that allow you to plug in your Xbox 360, your PlayStation, your DVD player.
So this becomes a monitor that you can use not only for your work at the office or your emailing or whatever, but your kids can use it to watch movies and play games.
Right. Or you can use it to watch movies and play games. In fact, if you get tired of working, you can just bring up a movie or play a game.
Some of us do that too.
Yeah, from time to time. so this is kind of one of the products that transitions from the business world to the consumer world because you can do so much with it. In fact, think about this. If you really want to see a gorgeous game, a gorgeous Xbox game or a PlayStation game, man, there's nothing better than something like this. Oh, and when you're working, if you are doing work, one of the new features, of course, in this class is you can rotate the monitor.
Look at that.
Like this, and it allows you to get a different aspect ratio. So for instance, if you were editing a picture, which would fit this, or if you wanted to lay up an entire page, say you're in publishing, you could do that as well. And what happens is it changes the aspect ratio of the material automatically due to some software on the PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just flips that easily, huh?
It does. And something to look for in any one of these monitors, of course, is the ability to swivel and the ability to adjust up and down easily. Europe's probably bigger on this than we are here, but if you're looking at a monitor at eye level, it's much better for your neck and back than it is if you have to bend down or bend up uncomfortably. So you do want to look for those adjustments regardless of what monitor you get.
And I like the wide screen because a lot of people do need to bring up two documents, and you want to be able to look at both while you're transcribing or reading or whatever. This fully accommodates both documents.
Or researching. I mean, for instance, I actually use 4 monitors right now, and you'd be surprised at how often you run into a case where you have reference material and you want to be writing against the reference material while you're working. It makes a big difference. It allows you to be much more productive. You're not searching for windows that have dropped behind other things. You can kind of lay out your page. And in fact, one of the things I've discovered that I'd like to do, because now we've got things like granny cams and the rest, is put up those little monitoring windows up on the side so I can keep track of what else is going on.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah, another good reason to have a wide screen.
Yes.
Okay, now this particular model is a gateway model, but there are several different companies that are producing these. What do they run in range?
The nice thing about this is, and something to think about with flat panels, a few years back I bought one about 1997, a 17-inch, and it sent me back about $3,200. and that was real money back then.
Oh, yeah.
And a model like this will set you back about $600 right now, so it's gotten a lot less expensive.
And a better product,
and
too.
better
That's
price.
great.
And this is a 21-inch wide. And they go up to 24-inch wide and still stay under $1,000. If they get much more than 24 inches, you're probably going to creep up over $1,000. But they go up to 37 inches if you want something really big. For the most part on your desk, this is probably big enough unless you really want to push the size.
Okay, this is very good. This is something I want to wrap with. Is flat is where it's at, and that's just a fact. And remember, it's not too expensive. It's something that the whole family can use. You can use it for work, and the kids can use it to play games and watch movies. So if you want more information about this LCD technology, as well as more on the flat screens and the different companies that sell them, just go to our website, techcloseup.com. I want to thank Rob Enderle for joining us today, and have a good day.
If you've ever tried to take a picture when there's no light, it's a pretty frustrating experience, and the less light you got, the worse the picture gets, right? Well, new advances in technology are making it possible to use cameras when there's almost no light at all. And we found 2 companies that are shedding light on a very old problem. In Hollywood, it's lights, camera, action. But on TV in Korea, you don't need lights for the camera to see the action. So, did you see what you thought you saw? Well, look again. Dolls dancing in the dark, but to the camera, they're all lit up. It's breakthrough Korean technology, a new kind of image sensor that's so sensitive it captures light even when it seems there's no light around.
This kind of technique is really breakthrough into that, the capability can take a picture at night and then without, a flashlight. So I believe this is going to open a new door people never thought about in the future application.
The technology, a new sensor called Single Carrier Modulation Photo Detector, SMPD for short, a gadget like something right out of a sci-fi movie. And it even sounds like it's sci-fi. The company that makes it is called Planet 82.
Planet 82 is, basically 2-word planet, plus 82 is the country code of Korea. So that symbolizes, the Korea in the names.
Planet 82 wants to cash in on a billion-dollar consumer market for digital video. And they're everywhere. Millions of cell phones come with built-in cameras, thanks to sensor technology that converts light into electrical signals.
Some people feel that that means digital cameras are going to go away, but in actuality what's happening is digital cameras are being developed with higher performance as well.
Micron, a high-tech giant, it pioneered image technology called CMOS. They're cheap and easy to make.
We're able to keep the costs at a much more competitive position, and we're able to produce more of them faster. That is, today we're producing something like 1 million of these today.
CMOS amounts to cameras on chips, silicon sensors that turn light into pictures or video, or bright, clear images for high-definition TV.
It's the ability to keep the light and have all that light efficiently converted into an electron, and then keep those signals coming out very cleanly out of the system that allows us to have this bright picture. We'll demonstrate that by turning down the lights. And what I will show here is two different products. One is the Micron image sensor on the left, which reveals a fairly good picture, even though it's virtually dark in this room. And the camera on the right, you can see, can barely identify my shirt, whereas there's no detail on my face.
CMOS sensors have been around for a few years, but Korea's SMPDs may add a bright new option. Ironically, Planet 82's technology is one you really can't see. SMPDs are ultra-tiny, nanotechnology. Nano meaning they're smaller than human hair, barely bigger than the atom itself. At that size, SMPDs can just about tickle one atom at a time, so it never takes much light for SMPDs to light up a picture.
So with very small amount for the light, still we can have the electric signal to create the image. So that was the breakthrough of this technology.
But why invest in the dark? Well, there's a fortune to be found in light sensor technology, from security cameras that detect hidden danger to military video that allows troops to carry on nighttime patrols. High-tech image sensors may also shed light on biomedicine and give doctors a better look at what's going on inside the human body.
Like a skin cancer, breast cancer or skin cancer, we can detect that without expensive techniques through this kind of sensor.
The concept of being able to see internally without invasive endoscopes and other devices is very attractive because it's basically painless, simple, and in actuality this technology has allowed some doctors to see problems and diseases that they couldn't even find with other techniques.
In fact, you could even swallow a camera pill that transmits pictures of hard-to-see parts of the intestine. Imagine what they'll see next.
The future of imaging is, I believe, going to reflect the past. That is, it will have phenomenal growth in applications. The applications will be fueled by the availability of very low-cost, extremely high-quality imaging.
And I believe someday we'll see more and more application. But this is one good example. People really can see and see the benefit of this technology.
From CMOS to SMPD, cheap, sensitive digital cameras are more plentiful than ever. So the next time the lights go out, remember, just because it's dark, it may never be too dark for the camera to see. Van Gogh, Monet, Jennifer Steinkamp? Jennifer may not be a household name yet, but she's becoming pretty widely known in art circles thanks to her very unusual high-tech approach to art. She and artists like her are getting a chance to showcase their high-tech art in museums such as this one, the San Jose Museum of Art. Let's join Christina King on a very unusual tour.
Mark, an exciting merger is taking place right now here at the San Jose Museum of Art. Technology and art are combining to create a whole new culture in the Silicon Valley. When you walk into the museum, you step into a world of high-tech art.
But you can see how the projections overlap.
A giant wall of colorful animation lures you and challenges you to look a little closer at the 3D images. It's no wonder the artist behind all this is often called the rock star of the digital art movement.
Jennifer Steinkamp has been one of the pioneers of 3D animation, and she creates site-specific installations using computers and digital projectors.
Jennifer Steinkamp's name is internationally known. Her digital creations have even been used by rock music legend U2, and you can see why. Step into any of her pieces and just try to find a theme in this digital projection.
The work is seamless, so they should see where the three projectors that create the work come together. Can they find the seam where it all disappears? Because they'll find while they're walking through the room, their shadow will temporarily disappear. And that's because the artist has created this seamless illusion with several projectors.
It's an example of technology pushing boundaries, forcing us to ask ourselves the question, how do we experience this information age?
That experience of being a participant as well as a viewer is one of the main things that I think people will take away from looking at all these different kinds of digital art projects.
Steve Dietz helped organize a first-of-its-kind festival in San Jose called 01, weaving technology into art.
Digital technology is affecting everything, including art media, and so artists are, of course, responding to the tools that are around them, whether that's a cell phone or a computer or a word processing machine.
I love the globes.
The globes are really a wonderful kind of way to talk about data and how that gets overlaid on the world and different migration patterns, different pollution levels, different levels of economic development, and a way of mapping it that people are very comfortable with.
The Globe exhibit showcases interesting social and health-based trends affecting the human race. In another room stands an unusual statue, made entirely of the objects we've used to communicate with one another during the last century and beyond. The exhibits have many faces, pointing to the global significance of our connectiveness, presenting it all in a fun, artistic manner that we can understand.
Hundreds of years ago, the pencil was new technology. And basically, artists are very resourceful. They use what's at hand to create art. So artists living today have access to technology, so they're incorporating it, just like a pencil, into what they're doing.
Technology is even influencing how we learn about art. In fact, you can have your own personal museum guide if you have a cell phone.
It's so easy.
It's so easy.
Personal audio guide to the San Jose Museum of Art. We currently have audio available for the piece World Processor.
So you hear a little greeting by oftentimes the director or somebody at the museum, and then when you want to listen to an item about a specific piece, you just press that number that corresponds with that item. The audio starts playing. If you're interested, you'll hear the whole item description.
It's like having your own personal tour guide.
It's like having somebody walk with you.
It's
and
that
then
simple.
if you're bored with what you're looking at, you just touch another number and off you go and you listen to that.
I love it.
Dave Aschheim launched his Guide by Cell audio tour company 2 years ago.
People love the idea of using their own device, their own cell phone. They're comfortable with it, they know how it works, and they almost always have it with them in their purse or their pocket, so they just take it out wherever they are in the park or the garden or the museum, see the number, punch it in, and hear the audio.
Infant mortality is a good indicator of a population's well-being.
The audio tour is yet another bright idea, proving that technology and art can work together to entertain and inform us. And the Silicon Valley is a natural fit for this showcase.
What the creativity that the engineers and the business people bring to creating Silicon Valley is exactly the kind of creativity that artists are bringing to the technology, but the results are very different.
Different, but exciting. We project that this marriage of art and technology has a long future. For Tech Closeup, I'm Christina King.
You know, on Tech Bites, we always like to feature some kind of novel, unusual technology, and we have something I think that really fits the bill here. This is Donice Sandoval from the San Jose Museum of Art, and who's your friend here?
This is Dina. Dina is an artificial intelligent web agent. As you can hear, she's anxious to speak to us.
Well, this just looks like a mirror.
Yes, that is sort of the facade with the face of the actress Tilda Swinton, but essentially it is a voice-activated system that's connected to the web that's programmed to answer questions and have a conversation with you.
So this is more than just mirror, mirror on the wall.
More than mirror, mirror, yes.
Well, show us what can Dina do for us?
Good morning, Dina.
speak into the microphone. Have we met?
This is our 10th meeting or so.
You don't say.
I do say.
Hello, Tiger. My name is Ina. What are your concerns?
World peace? Or what's for lunch?
I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Does she have just a select responses and that's all she works with, or?
No, she can come up with interesting and unique dialogue because she can call from the internet. So if you want to talk to her about a current topic, say what's going on in Iraq, she can call through that information and spew something. But because it is a voice recognition program, it can be sensitive, so she can't necessarily always understand what she's saying. If you're asking her for some emotional kind of response, sometimes she'll answer with a non sequitur.
Sounds like a lot of my friends.
And mine.
And then what is this here?
So for people who have trouble understanding, this is a mini screen, although this is very, very mini, so you don't see her entire dialogue, but she does, if you're having trouble understanding what she's saying, you can refer to this and you see. So here it says, she just says, I don't know what that means. And I really couldn't say for sure. So you see parts of the sentences that she's speaking.
She's sort of like an interactive search engine.
A little bit, yes.
Can I talk to her?
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Indeed, our algorithm is needed to respond to that correctly. Do you believe in free love? That's good information.
I think it's time to stop talking and listen. My name is Mark. Hello.
Tell me a story.
Tell
Are
you
you
a
afraid of the dark?
She wants me to tell you a story. Well, I don't think we have enough time for that. This is very interesting. How popular is this?
It's extremely popular. We have people come in. I mean, I think what happens is that when you have art where people can actually interact with it, it expands your museum experience. So it's not just like this one-dimensional or two-dimensional piece. They have an opportunity to be playful, and it's less intimidating for a lot of people who don't necessarily have an extensive background with art, so it's very fun.
And why is this art?
It's art because if you think about the history of art and artists, they have always used the materials at hand to create and to express themselves. And now in today's society, especially here in Silicon Valley, a lot of what is at hand are technological tools. And as the tools advance and become more sophisticated, so will the artwork that use it both as a medium and as a tool for experiencing the art.
Well, this has given us a new perspective on Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. I thank you very much for introducing us to Dina. Thank you, Denise.
My pleasure.
We'd like to announce yet another station's joined the family of cable networks which now carry Tech Closeup. Let's welcome Alameda TV and all of its viewers to the only cable program in all of California which covers the full scope of the high-tech industry. And if you'd like a complete listing of all of the cable channels that carry Tech Closeup and when it airs in your area, well then surf onto our website at techcloseup.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Levinson. And remember, if you want to stay close to all of the technologies that drive this incredible Silicon Valley, join us next time for another edition of Tech Closeup.